Hey everyone. In this training, we're going to be talking about how to attract more money in your life so that you can pay off your debt faster, save more money so you can invest more, or make that major purchase down the road. Okay, whatever your financial goals are, whatever it is that you want to do in general, you'd want to attract more money into your life. Okay, who doesn't want that? So there will be several trainings in this realm when it comes to attracting more money in your life. Today, we're going to be talking about money blocks. Okay, it's the first step. Okay, and money blocks are just, things, okay, just stuff that's preventing you from allowing money to flow into your life. Okay, because money is energy, right? And I've been asked to define this so many times in like the books that I've written, that I am writing. Okay, I'm writing a book on cryptocurrency. And one of the first things I have to explain is what is money and currency. Okay, so it's just money, credit, all these things gives you buying power, spending power, and that's it, right? Cash flow, they call it like it's called cash flow for a reason. Cash flows in, cash flows out. Money is energy, so you have to let it flow. So what happens when you don't let it flow? Well, then there's, think of, rivers and, things that should be freely flowing. When there's like a blockage, when there's something disrupting that flow, it gets stuck, right? So, and the same goes for money blocks. It just prevents money from flowing in, and especially if you're feeling like, oh, money's always flowing out, it never flows in, right? Well, here are some of the signs of money blocks. Okay, this is why. So you're feeling like you're always procrastinating when it comes to spending, investing, repaying someone back, paying your bills. You're just like, okay, I'll do it later because I don't want to look at my bills. When you're repaying someone back, you either like you're always late, or you're waiting for like the very last day, or until they start harassing you. Okay, so procrastinating is a sign of a money block. And then there's like part of it is the inability to let go of money. Okay, again, you're disrupting the flow of money. Same idea. If you're like, oh, I owe someone so and so money, and then you just maybe forget about it, or and you keep putting it off, right? That's all part of procrastination. But even like when it comes to making big investments, and you're just like, you feel like it's so hard to part ways with your money. Okay, that is a sign of you're disrupting the flow of money. Now, there's one thing to be like, I'm going to think about this purchase before I make any rash decisions, right? Sure, there is that. But then if you're like, I want this, but then, I have to think about it. And then it ends up being a block in your mind. It's like a mental block, right? It's just like when you have to answer 5 emails and you keep putting it off, but then in your mind, it's like a block, right? Like it's like you're doing something else, like, no, I have to answer this email. It's like, oh, I'll do it later. And then you just become overwhelmed. You start stressing yourself out. Okay, it's the same thing. So you want to, stop with these. You want to stop with these habits, right? Because you are disrupting the flow of money. And also, like, if you are one of those people who are like, okay, I have to do this, I have to answer these 5 emails, but you keep putting off, like you would know like how overwhelming it can be, and that it disrupts your life, right? You want to enjoy, your evenings and whatnot, but then if you don't do it, you're like, oh, like that's no fun. Another sign of a money block is if you're afraid to look at your bank account, your banking statements, credit card statements. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna tap my card, I'm just gonna spend, I'm just gonna pay these bills. I don't even know like what's coming in. I don't know what I'm paying for. And you just like, you're not aware. And you also don't want to look at your statements because you're afraid of, like how much, you're just scared to see how much you've spent, right? So you cannot do that, because you should you should know what is coming in. You should know what's going out. It's going to be very hard to save money and then ultimately invest if you are not, if your finances are not organized if you're not keeping track of what's going out and what's coming in. Even if it's like, I know what's coming in, but you don't know what's coming out, again, it's going to be very hard to save money if you don't know what you're spending your money on and how much each month. Okay. And another form of, another sign of a money block, okay, stuck energy. Okay, and I call it stuck energy because it's like these disruptions in your life. Okay, so have you noticed, either with yourself or other people, that there's always like some sort of disruption? Okay, so for example, you're out with people and you're like, oh, I'm trying to pay with my debit card, but it's not working. It's not working, right? But then it's like the machine worked for so-and-so, right? It works for other people, but okay, I'll try another card. Okay, and it's not necessarily insufficient funds or anything like that. It's just, it doesn't work. It just, like, for some reason, it's just like your card, or maybe there's just like a technicality with your bank, or just you, for example. It's also like when you're transferring money, but it's not going through because there's all these technicalities, right? So I noticed these things. I noticed it very much with people that have money blocks, right? I can just tell because I've been, worked with so many people. And it's just one of those things where I can feel, I can sense it, right? And it's really interesting because, like, I have a very good friend and she has money blocks, and so when we go out, it's always her that, like, and I notice these things where it's like, oh, the card's not working. Okay, transferring money. Oh, okay, like, it's just, but I sent it. Or like, even if I transfer her money, I'm like, I sent it. Like, there's something wrong on your end, right? And then, like, this has happened multiple times where it's like, there's some weird shit that happens, and it's like, oh, I have to call the bank, or then she has to call her bank, and then she's telling me, you have to call my bank, like, whenever I'm transferring money, or just like, even like lending her money. It's so weird, but it only happens with her because I know she's got money blocks. Okay, so if you notice these disruptions, if you notice anyone around you with these sort of disruptions, that is stuck energy, that is a money block. So what should you do? Okay. Well, first thing you want to do is you need to recognize it, right? Do you notice these things in your life, the stuff that I just described to you above? Do you feel resistance to letting go of money? Therefore, it affects your behaviors. Okay. So if you're like, oh, I know I need to pay so-and-so back, I need to pay this bill, I need to pay that bill, but I'm just going to put it off and whatnot, right? So if you're like, it's one of those things where it's like you feel so much resistance parting ways with your money. Okay, that is a big money block, and that disrupts the flow of money into your life. Okay, so what I do notice, people who tend to attract a lot of money, okay, and this is not about by any means like how much money they make, right? It's just the way they are with their money. People that I notice who attract a lot of money, okay, yeah, they make a average, they make a good salary, they have good incomes, but they don't experience, like these disruptions with their bank accounts and their debit cards when they're paying, when they're making payments. Okay, they pay people back immediately, they pay their bills on time, they're like, they don't have debt. They just, and they always somehow find money, right? And it's not like they're getting bonuses at work. No. Okay, they're like, oh my God, look at this. I have $100 in this purse. I had no idea, right? Oh, I forgot to cash this check. It's just like money appears out of nowhere for them very easily. Okay. And even stuff like, look, my aunt and uncle gave me, like, they were so generous. They gave me this money. And, even though they're grown ass adults, they're still getting, like, money gifts from their relatives. Okay. So these are the people who just tend to attract a lot of money. Because they don't have these money blocks in their lives. Okay. So first thing, you have to recognize it. and just notice the difference. And if you're like, I don't think I have money blocks because I do attract a lot of money, that's fantastic. Okay. So recognizing whether you have these money blocks or you don't, that's the first thing you need to do. The second thing is ask yourself, okay, and this is a journaling activity because like I love journaling and it just allows you to get all your thoughts and just brain dump everything on paper. Ask yourself, okay, and write down what comes to mind. Okay. So questions like, where is this coming from? Why am I so resistant to parting ways with my money? Why is it so hard for me to pay this bill? It has to be paid, but why do I put it off? Right? Where's this coming from? And what are you afraid of? Okay. Why are you afraid of this? Why are you afraid to like log onto your computer and just pay that bill right now? Is it because you don't want to look at your bank account? Why don't you want to look at your bank account? Right? Where is this coming from? You got to start looking deep, right? So, and then eventually you're going to trace it back to your early experiences of money. Okay, maybe you're like, well, I don't want to go and pay it immediately because then I lose that money. Well, why are you afraid that you're going to lose this money? Well, because maybe you had, you had an experience when you were younger, or even like, it could have been even like 5 years ago. Maybe there was like a traumatic experience with money. Maybe you were like swindled on money. Maybe you were scammed. Maybe like someone stole from you. Maybe, someone you lent you or you lent someone money, they never paid you back. Like, so there's so many experiences that there are so many things that you've experienced throughout your lives, but a lot of it comes from the early experiences, okay, from your childhood. So what I want you to do is think of one or two experiences. Okay, you can have multiple. I've had multiple experiences when it comes to money as a child. Okay, so think of what you like, conversations that you remember, right? And that's the thing. If you remember these conversations from when you're like 6 years old, or like what your mom said to you, your dad said to you, like the fights that you heard, okay, like you remember for a reason because it's traumatic, right? Trauma it sticks with you, right? It lives in your body and you remember it, right? So what did you hear? Maybe you overheard a conversation. Maybe you overheard your parents fighting. Okay. What were you taught? What were you told that stuck with you? Okay. I want you to just think of one or two experiences for now, right? Eventually, maybe you're going to uncover 5, 6, 7, 10 experiences, and you're going to see these patterns. And especially when your parents were constantly fighting about money, or you always heard them complain about it, okay, that's going to affect your current behavior and your as a result of your beliefs, okay, your money beliefs. So I want you to start with that. There's a lot more exercises I can throw at you, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So I want you to start with that. Okay, this is a journaling activity. And then the third thing I want you to do, it's like physical things aside from the journaling, to improve flow in your life. Okay, this works so good. Okay, I want you to declutter something. Whether it's first thing, actually, you need to declutter your wallet or purse that's full of receipts. Okay, that's like just negative energy. It's like, look at how much I spend, and it's disorganized. Okay, I used to have a lot of receipts piled up. It drove me crazy, right? It's so gross. And so organizing it, throwing them away, okay, you need to clear that energy so you can make room for more. Okay, so first thing, you should have a tidy wallet or a purse, and a purse. Okay, so they're full of receipts, get rid of them. Your desk, okay, where you work, right? If you're working from home, that is the place where, you're exchanging your energy, your time for money that comes in. Okay, you want to make sure where you work is very tidy. So clean out the drawers. Maybe you have all these like pens that don't work and all this stuff. Okay, clear it out. Or it could be a kitchen drawer or a closet. Okay, so these things can just cause a lot of disruptions in your life of flow, because it's clutter. It's not just physical clutter. It's mental clutter, right? Same thing with, like, oh, I have all these emails in my inbox and whatever. Like, the people that make a lot of money, that allow a lot of flow into their lives, are super organized. They are disgustingly organized. To a T. I have a friend who's, he's really great at Like he brings in a lot of money. He also has like in his inbox zero emails because he archives or he organizes every single email. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Like he's very, very organized. I'm like, you're a psycho. You have zero emails in your inbox. Like, yep, everything is organized. Okay, he attracts, he has a lot of money. um, so what I want you to do is I want you to declutter something. Okay, first thing is that. Okay, and you're gonna, I guarantee you, you will feel so much better. You're gonna just like just the other day, I decluttered. I cleaned out my desk drawer, my working area, and let me tell you, okay, I fixed this vacuum that was not working for like a year. Okay, not a year, for like 6 months. Okay, I cleaned the shit out of that vacuum and then it started working again. Because I was ready to order another part. I was ready to go online and be like, what's going on? It's already dead. Maybe because it's a shitty Amazon product. No. I cleaned out the dirt in the thing and that prevented it from working. Because I was like, there's not a lot of stuff. It's not like it's overflowing, right? But even that like prevented it from starting up, right? So my vacuum started working. It's so funny. And then this I was having so many issues with I was unable, I've been unable to use Outlook on this desktop for a long time, probably close to like 8 months, because it's just Microsoft has been having all these issues. So I was using Windows Mail, right? So and there's a huge flaw in it where it's if I click send a response for like an invite, it does not save to my calendar. Okay, so I would have to just go through so many steps just to have it saved on my calendar. It was so annoying, right? But then I cleaned out my desk, I got my vacuum working, and then I'm like, you know what? My Outlook, I'm gonna give it another shot. And let me tell you, like how many times I've tried to fix that. Okay, I did a search, whatever. I found one solution. It took 30 seconds and then it was done. It was resolved. I got my Outlook working again. Okay, so when you declutter something physically, it's just like you allow more flow into your life. Okay, it makes so many things just start working again. It's incredible. So I really that is one of the exercises I am highly encouraging you to do. Okay, this is like make it non-negotiable, decluttering. And then the next step is, okay, and I'm going to do another training on this, on how to organize your finances, okay? Because you need to know what comes in, what goes out, and whatever comes in, you need to allocate it accordingly, okay? So if you have debt, okay, you have to know how much you owe, what your monthly payments are, and what you're going to allocate to it. So when I paid off my 20,000 plus in credit card debt a while back, it was like after I graduated. Okay, this is what I did. I had a spreadsheet. I looked at it at least once a week, making sure like the money that came in, it was all allocated. I had my expenses, my living expenses, my savings, and all these things. I kept track. I watched my debt balances go down, which helped, which it was very encouraging, right? And then boom, like all that was paid off. But I had to organize everything and I had to look at it face to face and get really acquainted with it, get intimate with it. Because before that, when I graduated, I didn't have a job, I had all this debt, I was afraid to look at my finances, and it just it was horrible. It was not fun. So it's just one of those things where I had to shift. Okay, something had to shift, like internally, even physically. And I've spoken about it before, but basically I had to, like I started working, I found a job, just whatever. Like it wasn't a job like I particularly enjoyed, but I was like, I need to do this. Okay, I put my head down, I was studying, I was getting physically fit because I was like, because of a job, I'm allowing myself to join this exercise program. This is healthy for me because this is an investment. This is an investment in myself. Okay, mental health, physical health, everything. Right. So put my head down. I just worked out. I studied, and then everything just started to come in place. It was amazing, right? I was organizing my finances. I was like, okay, I can save this. I'm going to pay this to my parents. I'm going to allocate this to that, all these things. Okay. And then like not too long after, I got my job on Bay Street, right? So I increased my levels of income. Okay. So it all starts with that. Okay. It starts with the shift internally. Okay. With you doing the actions, taking aligned action so that you can propel yourself forward, and so that you can attract more money, whether it's leveling up your income, whether it's attracting more clients. It starts with you. So these are the three things I want you to do. Okay, so four things really, but recognizing it in journal activity is kind of like lumped into one. So I want you to recognize it. Okay, notice these, just sit there with your thoughts and just, do you notice these blockages? Okay, and if you do, you feel some resistance, letting go, okay, as a result of your behaviors, okay, then you're gonna go, okay, you're gonna answer these questions. You're gonna start digging deep, okay, and then you're gonna declutter something. Doesn't have to take long. Start with a drawer, but definitely your purse and wallet, non-negotiable, okay? And then you're gonna start organizing your finances, okay, if you are not doing that already. If you want me to help you identify any money blocks you may have, and you want to just have a private discussion with someone, maybe you feel like you can't talk about this with anyone else, then I highly encourage you to book a free financial strategy call with me so you can walk away with your next actionable step. Okay, but I want you to do these three things first. Okay, this is all about taking action, aligned action. Okay, again, we talked about procrastination and all these things. Okay, I want you to keep moving forward. So at the minimum, do these three things first. You can book your call and then do it. But when we're on the call, we're going to be having these discussions. So I want you to be ready for it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I really look forward to helping you move forward and remove any money blocks that you may have so that you can start attracting a lot more money into your life.